Today we're going to talk about the verb gustar. Now, when we think about the verb gustar, a lot of times we think it means to like. However, the verb gustar literally means to please or to be pleasing. And if we remember that gustar means to please, it's going to make it easier to remember how to use it correctly. So in English, we say, I like Spanish class. But we need to change how we think when we're using the verb gustar and instead say that Spanish class is pleasing to me. Okay, so when we're talking with the verb gustar, that to me is expressed with the indirect object pronoun. So the indirect object pronouns, you have to use them with the verb gustar to say to whom something is pleasing. So me is going to mean to me. Te is going to mean to you if you are familiar. Le is to him, to her, or to you formal. So if you're using usted. To say to us, we use nos. If we're using to you all in Spain, we're using os. So this is Spain only. So whenever we would use vosotros. And then les is going to mean to them or to you all anywhere else. So the indirect object pronouns are necessary when we use the verb gustar. Something extra that we can use before the indirect object pronouns are the clarifiers. Now, the clarifiers either give us a little more information or give us emphasis on to whom it is pleasing. The clarifiers are always going to start with a, and that is a preposition. So after a, we use the prepositional pronouns. So for example, a mí is going to be to me. Yes, it is redundant. To me, not just me. A ti is to you. Again, that's familiar. Notice that me has an accent, but ti does not. We have a él, a ella, a usted, or we can use a with someone's name. And that's going to be to him, her, etc. When we go to nosotros, it'll be either a nosotros or a mí y a with someone's name. So that's to us. We're never going to use yo with gustar. It always has to be a mí and me. Here we have a vosotros or a ti y a with a name. That's to you all. And then in the third person plural, we have a ellos, a ellas, a ustedes, or a with names. That's to them or you all, etc. Okay. So after that, we have gustar, right? And gustar, we're only going to use two forms in this class, not three, two. Only use two forms for our class. The two forms are third person singular, gusta, or third person plural, gustan. We're going to use gusta if whatever is pleasing is a singular object. And if it's a singular object, we're going to use the articles. So either definite or indefinite articles with that singular object. For example, we're going to use gusta with la clase, el escritorio, el vestido. Or we're going to use gusta with a verb. And the verb needs to be in the infinitive form. Okay? We're going to use gustan with plural objects. Again, we're going to use the articles. Los gatos, los libros, unos estudiantes. Okay? So, when we write a sentence using gustar, we're going to start with the clarifier. And I put it in parentheses because the clarifier is optional. In our class, we're going to use them though. After the clarifier, we use the indirect object pronoun. Then we're going to use the verb gustar in whichever form is correct. And then afterwards, we're going to have the subject. And remember, the subject is what is pleasing. All right? So some examples of sentences would be, a mí me gusta la clase de español. So that was our example from the top. Spanish class is pleasing to me, or I like Spanish class. Remember that gusta is going to agree with what comes after. The me is going to agree with what comes before. Okay? So a mí me is telling us to whom Spanish class is pleasing. And then here, la clase de español is telling us what is pleasing. Another example would be, a ti y a mí nos gustan los zapatos. And here we're saying we like these shoes, or these shoes are pleasing to us. Okay, remember again, here zapatos are plural, so gustan is plural. Nos is agreeing with a ti y a mí. One more example would be, a él le gustan las, I don't know, what does he like? He likes las manzanas rojas. He likes red apples. Or red apples are pleasing to him. So remember, even though él is singular, we show that he is just one person with le. Gustan, the verb, is agreeing with las manzanas. And that is how we're going to conjugate and use the verb gustar correctly.